Hmm? Is it important? Men, that's just how they are.
Well, there comes a point and you just have to live with it.
Not as if I didn't tell them that already. Huh? Can I help you?
Walk blessed.
Walk blessed. Oh, show me. Oh, joy, you are right. Oh, by the billows of cosmos, how can I ever thank you? Oh yeah, the Master Skull. One moment, let me get a pouch for you. Of course, you've earned it. Yes, that might work. There is an old Pyrean stone circle close to the old trading post called Three River Watch. Go there at midnight and balance the skull on your head. If I'm right, you should feel the effect within seconds. And now, thank you again and walk blessed. That is, if there's nothing else you need. Maybe an herb to get rid of those dark circles under your eyes. Yes, of course. May his light guide you.
Oh, you're an outlander, aren't you? From Kally. Your skin, it looks, different. Farewell.
You just don't get any younger.
Uh-huh. Now, I just put them out for you to look at. Tell me what you need, and be quick about it. Walk blessed. Yeah? Now, I just put them out for you to look at. Tell me what you need, and be quick about it. Walk blessed.
I think I've seen you before, haven't I? You work for the Order. Do you know who those wild mages up in the temple are? I mean, sure, if the Grand Master trusts them, who am I to doubt his decision? But still, I don't know.
Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you there! You want to know a secret? A really great secret, you'll see. If you, give me 30 pennies and I'll tell you. Because I promise. Please! With those pennies I can have Wait, let me count first. Wow, there really are 30. You're great. Thank you. So, do you know my Sir Mitumael? The, what do you call it? The tanner. Well, last night I heard these weird noises coming from his house, as if he was building something, so I snuck up to his window.
Potatoes, garlic...
He has this secret stash in his house. I think to open it, you have to pull these hidden levers. But I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe you... well, you know. Anyway, I have to go now. Thanks again. Hello.
Hey, you're an adventurer, aren't you? I bet you've got a lot of stories to tell.
My dame.
Walk. How about that? Another traveler. I thought I was the only one still traveling these lands. That's a good question. Let me think. I'm not sure if this helps, but an innkeeper told me lately that because of the Red Madness, very few prospectors are bold enough to go to the Shadow Steel mines in the Powder Desert anymore. If you have the smithing skills and want to find some precious ore, you should check one of the mines there. I might. What do you need? Take care.
Walk blessed, my child. How may I help you? Haha, what it is? Now that's quite the question you're asking there. But fine, why not? The path is two things. For one, it is the name of holy writing that encompasses both the revelation of the Lightborn after the fall of the Eterna King Azartaron, and the journey of the first vassals to Enderal, who founded this country under Malphas's guidance. It also tells us the virtue of the path, the ideals by which every Endralean should live, which is the only way to salvation. Yes. Only a people united in flesh and spirit shall prevail throughout the ages. Verse 39. There's the path of the manufacturers, whose hard work provides for the iron and food of our people. Then there's the path of the erudites, who follow professions that require higher knowledge, such as scribery and alchemy. And then there are the sublime, who were born to lead our country. Within one's path, a person is free to choose, but to cross those borders is almost always blasphemy. There are exceptions in which a soul's destiny unveils only later in its life. For example, there was Laura Mortarblade, who was born to the manufacturer's path, but who became one of the most fabled keepers of Enderal. But they are what they are, exceptions. You are welcome, child. Walk blessed. Let me see. Yes, that is no injury light magic couldn't heal. Malphus bless this body, rid it of its afflictions and endow it with life, path abidingness and new strength. May your light guide this soul. Well, I suppose that depends on what you deem as interesting. I am certain you have heard about the tragic events in Ark. Apparently the Magister who murdered those children was from Riverville himself. And then there's the mayor's wife. She's been sick for moons now, and even I cannot help her. Dreadful times are these, truly. I wish I could do more. Beloved children, I am glad to see so many of you have come. It shows me that you have not forgotten that only faith which is practiced is true faith. In tonight's sermon, I want to talk about death. There is hardly a feeling which wakes similar emotions in us. Why do we have to die? Is death not a punishment? And if so, why does Malphus grant some of us a life full of peace and serenity, while others, equally path-abiding people, have to endure suffering? It seems unjust, yes, and I too oftentimes have asked myself how such inequality can persist under Malphus's watchful eyes. Yet the answer is so near, if only we know where to look. For it is not the lack of answers, but the question itself that is the problem. Let me recite to you a passage from the letters of Father Weidenfall. And so the grieving widow said after her companion's death to Malphus, "O Lightborn, why must I suffer such woe? Why must I until the end of my path live in grief, while the baker's woman can live happily with her wife?" And then a figure made of pure light appeared, so divine and sublime that the widow fell onto her knees, for she realized it was but Malphus himself. "Do not grieve for the loss of your man, O lost soul," he said. "He was a path-abiding, noble being, and I myself have judged his deeds in his last journey. He is now walking on the eternal path at my side." But despite the musical voice of the light figure, the widow could not find peace. For she remembered all the joy, all the beautiful moments she and her man had been granted together. "O Lightborn, I understand that my husband is now at peace, but I shall never see him again. So why do you punish me with such suffering? Have I not, too, always lived a path-abiding life of worship and faith?" Then something incredible happened. The light figure knelt right before the woman, and full of fatherly love caressed her grey hair. For a brief moment the widow felt all the divine love in her heart. Yes, she felt as if she had realized a greater truth, like a man who, for all his life, saw the world through a tainted window, and just now realized he only had to open the door to walk outside. "Your question speaks of great providence," said the Lightborn, full of compassion and dignity. "But tell me, what would make your life worth living, were there to be no death? Is it not death itself that gives you the wish to cherish each day? Would you not, should eternal life be granted to you, spend every day in pondering, full of grey thoughts and dullness, for you would know that in 1,000 years you shall still be in this very same place?" The light figure rose. Only mortality grants a soul the courage to walk the holy path. And like a wound lets a warrior emerge from battle even stronger, Your grief shall help you come forth as a wiser woman. And tenderly it added, this realization was also, O child, why I chose to not limit death in its doing, even for my faithful followers, because only a life with an end is a life worthy of living. The woman broke into tears as she realized the wisdom within Malthus's words. Uttering words of gratitude, she lowered her head onto the floor, for the words of the Lightborn had helped her not to see her grief as punishment, but as a trial. And when she looked up again, the Lightborn was gone. Ponder on those words.
How about that? Another traveler. I thought I was the only one still traveling these lands.
Even if its arbitrariness may seem unjust to you, I wish you all a pleasant night. Walk blessed.
Walk blessed.
Wild mages in the temple? Grandmaster Aranthiel is as unusual as his reputation suggests, it seems. Walk blessed, my child. How may I help you?
Hello.
Can I help you?
Walk blessed.
May your path always be even.
Uh-huh.
Potatoes, garlic, radish. Yeah, that should... It?
Yes?
Malphas's blessings.
Shall we go? Splendid. Let's wait until nightfall, though. That way it's less likely we'll run into an ambush in the pass. One more thing. You seemed quite fond of your new magical talents. In battle, I mean. I take it you're more of an arcanist type, then. Am I right?
Essence for my hair.
I knew it. I'm asking because I was in the market just now stocking up on provisions, and I got myself some new reading material. Here, I think you might find this useful. The Arizalian in My Bed, Sensual Confessions of a Vagabond Lady, Volumes 1 and 2. You know, for the lonely nights. Jokes aside, these are learning books, from arcanists or master fencers, depending on what you read. You know how to fight, but if you want to get better, you have to enjoy reading these once in a while. You're welcome. Then off we go, I'd say. You go on ahead. Just take the route leading north out of Riverville. It'll lead us straight to the mountain pass.
Mistress of the castle. She was worshipped and revered. Vintage wine and silken cloth, jewelry and tongue-of-bombs, any loot and contraband were passing through her hands. Bribe, deceit, and robbery, no means to fight or fall for her. The art of crime she mastered like no one ever had. Beautiful and proud, the ruler of the Undercity. When the night closed in, she stayed sleepless until dawn. Men Eterna beasts, they visited her chamber. Anyone who quaffed and knew no shame could join her feasts. Her heart was empty, cold and sore, yet she craved for more and more. So little virtue left in her, and nothing left to lose. No matter who attended her, she raised her chalice in the air. Anyone could fill it, her thirst would never cease. Beautiful and proud, the ruler of the Undercity, her sinful womb bore fruit, and horror grew along. The healers had no remedy, no one could prevent confinement and delivery before the moon had waned. Two monsters grew beneath her heart, her body, it was torn apart. The goat had stilled their hunger with their mother's torn remains. And anyone who was around was killed and stomped into the ground. And ever since the vat tears are tainting our world.
Some shifts never end.
Hang on a second. Quite the sight, isn't it? It's moments like these that make life so damn worth living. This place was once a trading post, in case you're wondering, but it's been deserted ever since the isolation. Yeah, that's what we call the decree that was made 30 years ago here in Enderal. Simply put, the Order decided to reduce their trade with other countries of the civilized world to a minimum. Not a very economical choice to make, but that was roughly the time when the Lightborn Eradan left Narim. The Order was probably afraid something similar could happen in Enderal. You know, open harbors quicken the exchange of information, which in turn quickens rebellious thinking, and so on. Since the decree, trading in Enderal has been subject to very strict regulations, and only the wealthy can still afford things like Termatralian wine or Kalayan spices. Anyway, since then, a lot of once flourishing trading posts have closed down, such as the Three Rivers Watch down at the Sun Coast, or this one. Yeah, if you want to take a look for yourself, feel free. If not, let's push on. We still have a good march ahead of us. Huh?
Hey, you there. Yes, you. Come over here. Now, I need your help. It's urgent. My brother, Alvar, he's up the hill in that camp by the fire. But it's his turn to take watch, and I'm bloody freezing out here. Tell him to come here right now, else I will go back to Ark without him.
What do you want? Get lost. There's nothing for you to see here. Oh, does he now? Then listen up, pal. Since we've come here, that fat bastard has done nothing other than get plastered. Tell him that until he's sober, I won't move a finger width from this fire.
What, I'm drunk? Because this idiot made me wait out here for hours? If it weren't for him, we would be on our way back to Ark already. Tell him to move his fat ass over here right now.
Oh, did he now? Well then, you tell him that what he wants interests me as much as the colour of his fucking balls.
What? Alright, that's it. Go and kick that bloody moron's ass. Give him a knuckle sandwich. Smack him in the gob. Spank the living shit. Ah, you know what I mean. Oh yes, on my responsibility.
Oh yeah? Well, I'd love to see that.
Who'd you learn that from? Your grandmother?
Good, that will... Here, take this for your help. Now get lost, or I need to take a nap.
Blazes, what idiots. Welcome to the Enderalian people, fair lady.
Bloody idiot. Bloody idiot. Bloody idiot.
right then.
What? That's all you've got? What? That's all you've got? Scum. You'll pay for that.
Damn you! Please.
Just come on. Don't make it so easy. Eager to explore, aren't you? Take your time, I'll wait. I can use a break anyway. Never walk back on the road from the aged man's abode. Oh, blazes. Sorry. I know. I can't sing. Now, come on. Don't make it so easy.
Hey, you there. Yes, you. Can you spare a moment for him? He would be very grateful. Well, he, Kermai Kazor Tatakajape. Your help. Tell him, my sir, do you have good eyes? Good, very good. Let him cut to the chase. He is in dire need of eggs. Lots of eggs. And he wants you to help him. A half-starling, yes. But unfortunately, he's not from Anku, if that's what you would have asked next. Which is something he really regrets. This world, it's so dirty, so loud. But, well, what can you do? One is what one is. He is not talking about common eggs. Do you see those brown hammerbirds circling over the heartland? In many other countries, such as Nerim or Kira, their hatchlings are brought up to be letterbirds. He wants to raise such letterbirds for a special purpose. So, what do you say? Will you help an old starling? The ancient fathers would thank you for it. He's sure of that. Oh, that's hard to explain. He doubts you would understand. But it has to do with our lost home, the Star City. Yes, the place we starlings come from, and where we are destined to return to eventually. Don't you know the stories? There's a city far up in the sky, and all the worldly suffering doesn't exist there. But this is no place to talk about that. There are books which could explain our prophecies a lot better than he ever could. You're talking about coin. Yes, he does. And provided you bring him what he needs, he would have given them to you anyway. Well, that is the part where your good eyes come into play. All you need to do is follow the movements of the birds flying above the sea here and in its vicinity. Eventually, they will return to their nests, and that's where you can find the eggs. Just come back once you've found a good handful or more. He will wait for your return.
Huh? Can I help you?
There it is. Ark. Majestic, isn't it?
Yes?
A penny, madame. Please. Thank you. That's really generous. May his light guide you.
Farewell.
Hello. Hello.
Madame?
A fellow traveler. Ha! Greetings. You have? Well, sure. Let me see. Or tell me what you need. Walk blessed.
Yes?
An obulus? Oh, thank you. You truly are a good person.
Madame?
Hello.
Oh. Gnarldolf, a troll. For 2 months now, every night, I've been hearing this horrible, bloodthirsty grunting near the farm. The guard says I'm only imagining it, but trust me, I've seen enough of the world to know troll noises when I hear them. When it all started, the grunting came from back in the forest, but it's gotten closer each night, and I'm sure that thing is out for my animals. So, what do you say? You kill Gnarldolf for me, and in return, you will get one of my very best donkeys for free. Whirlwind. And believe me, he lives up to his name. What? That doesn't ring a bell. Gnarldolf? As in, the Gnarldolf? From the fairy tale, The Seraph and the Beast. Considering how horrible the grunting sounds, that name seemed fitting to me. But call him what you want, it doesn't matter, as long as you kill him. Oh, that should be pretty easy. Just wait until shortly after midnight and then scout the area. Eventually, you'll hear that grunting I told you about, then just find out where it comes from. And needless to say, be careful. You look like you can take care of yourself, otherwise I wouldn't have asked. But these beasts are not to be underestimated.
And here we are. Welcome to Ark. I've got some things to take care of here, so let's meet at the market once you're ready to meet Grandmaster Tealor Orenthiel and his mages in person, all right? By his own son, Nerazil, yeah. But roughly 2.5 years ago, he suddenly appeared back in Enderal, accompanied by a handful of mages who once fought against him in the Great War. Weird, I know, but that's how it was. He did, yeah. It seems that something happened between him and them that made them sort out their issues, you could say. They're allies now, and frankly, nobody quite knows why. You can imagine what kind of uproar that caused among the Holy Order itself. But in the end, Arenthiel got things his way. You can say what you want about him, but he never lost his charisma, that's for sure. You're telling me. But apparently their alliance has something to do with this red madness. I guess we'll see what happens. Oh, sure, I should have thought of that. Pardon me. All right then. Ark is divided into 5 districts, not counting the harbor. The Foreign Quarter, where we are right now, the Marketplace, the Nobles' Quarters, the South Quarter, and the Temple. If you're looking to gear up, I guess the market would be the place to go. You can find anything there, from food to weapons, armor, and whatever else you need. If it's magical supplies and alchemy you need, however, you best try your luck in the Nobles' Quarters. But prepare yourself for some dismissive looks. Up there's also the bathing house and the theater, in case you have the coin for that. Finally, there's the temple, which is hard to overlook. Normal citizens are not permitted to enter it, and from up there, the Holy Order reigns over this country. But if all goes according to plan, you'll soon see it from the inside. And then there's the Undercity. Yeah, it doesn't, and it isn't. The Undercity's a cluster of caves directly beneath our feet. And down there is where the poor and the sick live, not to mention those that the Order doesn't like to see in their neat, pretty streets in the upper city. Not a place I'd recommend you visit, at least not unless you're looking for mischievous things. Great. Then see you later and enjoy your stay.
My dame, do you have a moment? I think the two of us could do business together. Well, it is actually quite simple, but since you were kind enough not to just ignore me and walk by as the others did, I would like to show my gratitude for that first. You travel a lot, don't you? I can tell by the mud on your boots. Here, one of these books might come in handy on your journeys. Which one do you prefer? Splendid! Say, would you happen to be interested in earning yourself some more coins? Or, even better, more books like those? There is something I need help with. I have a problem, and this problem is called Celia, which happens to be my sister. Where should I start? You know, I am one of those people who wasn't given everything by fate. Quite the contrary, in fact. When I was a child, the village I grew up in, Foamville, was ambushed by bandits, and both my father and my mother died during the attack. Thank you, but it's ancient history now. Fact is, my sister and I dealt with this event differently. We managed to flee the attack and make it to Ark, where the guards, of course, threw us into the Undercity. But while I tried to honor my father's heritage by using the little I could from our savings by setting up a business, she preferred to wallow in her misery instead. She got to know the wrong people and has, since then, never done a single bit of honest work. Frankly, she's a dust addict. Day and night she does nothing else but rot in those drinking holes in the Undercity and blows what little money she makes on her drage. Now, of course, she is still my sister. So all of these years I paid her rent so she doesn't have to sleep on the streets. However, things have changed. Recently she started using our father's heritage to pay for her addiction, and I will not accept that. Of course, you wouldn't know that. Glimmercap dust, the blue bliss, or however you want to call it. It's a drage, a dangerous one. Apparently, it makes you feel as if you're walking the eternal paths. But it also kills you quicker than the sunfire. Oh, believe me, I did. Which is why she simply hid the key to our safe in the bank somewhere that I couldn't find it. So, long story short, this is where you come in. I want you to get her to give me that key. How you do it is up to you. But if you succeed, it won't be to your disadvantage. Anywhere there's rats and dust. But she spends most of her time in the False Dog in the Undercity. One of those dumps I told you about. Just come back to me once you've found something.
In the bed. Sorry.
Where did I put that?
How am I supposed to pay that much? Bloody cutthroats.
Malphas's blessings.
Wait a moment. Only if you know what to look for. I'm one myself, so I do. Balhazer, pleased to make your acquaintance. Tell me, if you're new in this city, are you perchance also looking for work? Excuse me, what was I saying? I'm looking for a hand. Well, neither do you. But to answer your question, I'm Orizalian, but third generation Orizalian, so it doesn't show that much anymore. Apart from my name and my skin, there's little left of my roots, I'm afraid. Anyway, so what did you say? Interested in some well-paid, honest... It's simple. I want you to find something for me. You know, I'm a healer, just like my father was, and my grandfather before that. When he came to this country, he did so because he had been hired by an Arca noblewoman, a bright lady who valued science and the arts of healing. In any case, my grandfather spent a large portion of life working for this lady in an old, abandoned fort near the now deserted village of Fogville. Together with a good dozen other apothecary, he planned for my father to succeed him. But before he had the chance to, the mushroom plague occurred. Yes, that one. The spores of those mushrooms have literally sucked all the life from the forest and its surroundings. Plus, they are a threat to everyone who comes close.
Yes.
It does seem likely, doesn't it? Both my father and I have asked my grandfather this question too, but he has always denied it. The plague was a magical phenomenon, a freak of nature, no more, no less. Those were his words. However, I've made some troubling discoveries which have led me to doubt that. I believe the plague might have been fabricated. Well, this is exactly what I want you to find out. Unfortunately, the noblewoman whom my grandfather worked for has long been dead, and she was the last in their bloodline, so I couldn't find any answers there. But the old fortress where they worked still stands. Go there and look for answers. If my grandfather had something to do with this, I want to know.
Mead, stew, roast pork. Anyone?
Look at me, you'll have the answer. I'm old and far from made for the road to be... Furthermore, all those undead who've been roaming the wilderness since that red madness began. But don't worry, if you succeed, I'll make it worth your while. Isn't that obvious? Because I want to understand. You know, we Arzalians believe in the debt of blood, If my grandfather committed a crime, it is my responsibility to atone for it.
Of course she'd say that.
Plus, I believe that if there was a way to, well, to cure that plague, it is hidden within that. My father never cared much about all this, but I'm different. If there's one thing I want to achieve in my reports, scrolls, samples of their work, anything. Here, the fortress, in the village harbour, there was a hut where my grandfather lived when he was off duty. Chances are you'll find a key to the fortress there. Good luck, and thank you. If you have found the material, you can find me in the Undercity, near the old waterworks. My laboratory is there.
Mead, stew, roast pork. Anyone?
In no bed, sorry.
Madame?
Bread! Taste it now, our unrivaled fresh and tasty bread! Oh, lovely adherers of the crunchy pleasures, grow in delight as
Madame?
sink into a golden brown loaf of our unrivaled fresh and
My
tasty
dame?
bread. You there! You look as if you could do with it. Well, it is fresh and it is tasty. What are you getting at? Certainly! A pleasure for the young and the old, for the tall and the small. See for yourself.
Oi, you there. Don't look at me like that. Looking for trouble, eh? You bloody flooded your eyes at me, woman. Oh yeah, you think I haven't noticed, don't you? You say sorry at once, or I'll smack your mouth. Oh, that you'd like to know, huh? So you can deduce her, me Bernadette. Don't bloody think I'm stupid.
Bread! Taste it now, our unrivaled fresh and tasty bread.
Oh, well, you're lucky I'm having a good day. Next time I won't let you off that easy.
Walk walk blessed. I might. What do you need? May his light guide you.
Hear my words, O path-abiding people of this holy city. Many of you may have heard it already. There's war.
What do you want?
A group of honorless heretics who adorn themselves with the name Disciples of the Sand have, in an act of limitless cowardice, attempted to storm the palace of the Golden Queen.
Oh, good. You just wait and see.
By that, they have not only defiled the grandeur of the merciful Golden Queen herself, but also that of the Lightborn Saldron, keeper of the writings, the eternal timeless. Even though the guards of Al-Rashim, with an exemplary act of bravery, prevented their foul attack, their lies have already poisoned the minds of those without virtue. Countless murderers, cowards, and criminals join their so-called cause, and now fight against the reign of the Lightborn in the streets of the Grand City. So let us pray.
Huh. An arcanist, aren't you? Well, I hope your name is on the register. The last thing Enderal needs right now are more wild mages on the loose.
Sorry. I know. I can't sing.
Hey, wait a moment. You're the Neramis, aren't you? The Outlander. Well, let's put it this way. I have a pair of eyes here and there, and it's always good to know who comes into this city and when they do so.
For friends of path-abiding magic.
Help. You're an unfamiliar face, and this is just what I need. Let me make it short. I'm a businessman, and my specialties are the liquid pleasures. Beer, to call a child by its name. In Ark, most inns only pour 2 drinks. On the one hand, my beer. On the other hand, Rivervale Ale. Dalsarker honey wine is what they like to call that swill. Now, the thing is, the Riverville Brewery and I have a deal going, and unfortunately, the new vine dresser respects that deal as much as the Rolata respect the righteous path. And this is why I want your help. I need someone to aid me in serving some retributive justice, so to speak. A lot. Depending on how good you do, we can even talk about letting you in as a shareholder of my brewery. With small parts, of course. But as I said, that depends on how you do.
Hungry for arcane secrets? I have books, scrolls, potions, anything for friends of path abiding.
Now look at that. Aren't you curious? That's good. I like that.
Hungry?
It's simple. 7 barrels of beer per tavern and per week from me. 7 barrels of wine from him. No tricks. Correct. That way, we maintain balance. Should an inn order more than these 7 barrels, either I or the vinery inform each other about it first. The fact is, that new vine dresser doesn't care about that deal at all. All he does is walk around saying things like how he'll grow the business, how rivalry adds spice, and other Kallian horse shit like that. And unfortunately, some people seem to fall for him. One innkeeper hasn't ordered from me for 3 weeks, and now pours only ale instead. Wonderful! Here, this is a flask of highly concentrated vinegar. Sneak into the basement of Fat Leorin's Inn. That's one of the inns that fools talked into only buying ale. And pour that into the big mead barrel. And, I probably don't need to say this, but still, not a word to anyone. Get back to me once it's all taken care of, and we'll talk coin.
His position as Grand Master of the Holy Order. The esteemed Trachesha, Natara Dal Varim, thereby returns to her position as second in command, and no one else but Tilor Arenthil himself shall lead this holy city from this day on.
That's it. And why is it Malphas who carries the Sun Temple on his back? Isn't that a gesture of servitude?
No, Malphas carries the Sun Temple because he also carries humanity. Without the benevolence and sublimity of the gods, the world would still be at war, just as it was after the devastation of... Everything we have, we owe it to them.
Correct. The gods' reign is not driven by greed for power. Their highest endeavor is the preservance of peace and stability, no matter the cost. Keep that in mind, son. And honor the path Malphas has chosen for you. This is the
red madness that befalls peaceful souls, driving them to deeds of pathless atrocity. All you who live now in fear, hear my words. Do not be afraid.
Huh?
Only the
Can I help you?
of pathless spirits are prone to the workings of this red madness.
Madame?
Honor your
Uh-huh.
serve the order, and nothing shall happen to you.
Information?
For the Lord
What do you mean?
holds his protective hand over us, as he
Let
has done
me
for
see.
millennia.
That's not very much, but fine. A couple of moons ago, I had a really strange guy as a customer. He wore 2 sabers, like those coal people do, but when he moved, he was really swift about it, like he was some kind of thief. I think he was an assassin, as they call them. Quiranian contract killers. You can hide within a fortress, but they'll find you. Somehow break into your room and kill you in your sleep. And unlike those everyday scroungers, they know how to wield a sword, like Loram Waterblade did. Who knows? Maybe that'll help you. Now, I just put them out for you to look at. Tell me what you need, and be quick about it. Walk blessed.
If it's clam and fish you see,
just wait and see.
Walk blessed. Oh, how nice of you to ask. I can't complain. I suppose the wars in Kally and Kira make it harder to get your hands on certain wares. But still, life's good. Definitely more comfortable than my time on the road, though. What? No, I was a vagabond, as people like to say. A traveling mage. You know, I grew up in a village near Duneville. Actually, I had a pretty good childhood there. But when I discovered my magical gifts, well, let's just put it this way. It changed how people treated me, even my own parents. I just felt the need to, I don't know, get out, see some of this world. So after I did the passage to the water, that is, after the Order taught me how to use my magic path, I decided not to return to my village and packed my traps and hit the road. Kind of bold, yes, but back then, I didn't care. But I digress. Well, they weren't exactly hostile to me, but it was the small things. Looks, talk going on behind my back. Over time, that just gets to you. But you know, I don't think I can blame them, especially with the village folk. The word magic is always mentioned together with wild magic, or Bayus, and devastated cities. And all of a sudden, here I am, suddenly one of them who can do those things, even though I don't have Eterna blood. How is that supposed to fit into their worldview? They can't really know better. I probably made it sound worse than it was. I've heard that on Niram, magically gifted people get driven out of their village, or worse. I guess I should consider myself lucky. Sure, take a look.
A miracle that must have been, due to its sheer glory, brought forth by Malthus himself. Timur Ardenfield has returned. Yes, you have heard right.
If it's
Walk
clam and fish you seek, then come and take a good long peek.
Everything for the path-abiding soldier. Come again. Hammers, daggers, swords, the best from the Kalayan archipelago to this beautiful country. Let me know when something catches your interest.
Yes? Of course. Yes?
Yes?
Morala's blessings, my friend. Well, flee isn't exactly the right word for it. I call it tactical relocalization. Only a stupid businessman will try to sell spices amidst a civil war. Oh, well, after those rumors about the Lightborn's death started, the council members must have thought, now's the time for power struggles.
Only the best and fresh from the Red
Very
Sea.
stupid, if you ask me, and very bad for the economy. Thank the sun I was one of the few who fled early enough. But this madness has cost far too many lives. Far too many. Spices, rugs, delicacies, only the best. Straight from Kally. Take a look. Farewell.
Apples, dates, bananas, the freshest fruits right from the Farmer's Coast and Duneville.
In the shackles of lust, presented by the poets.
Yes? On rocks I stood.
An obulus, my dame, please. The Lord will redeem you for your kindness.
Oh yes.
Sensual and sweet as sin, their bodies touch my tender.
Madame?
Mmm. Oh, yummy. Tastes like cherries. Lo.
Yeah, that should be it.
Bosoms let me languish, and leave my poet's heart in anguish.
You know the aged man of whom no one knows from whence he came. His house lies on the edge. Ba-da-da-da-da.
One day. Hey, you're an adventurer, aren't you?
So many strange faces.
What?
Well, isn't it nice? Yes? What are you doing here?
I'm closing now. Come back tomorrow. I'm closing now.
Hello.
Come back tomorrow. Now look at that. A new face. How can Gabor serve you today? Wait. Say that again. Oh, by the name of the sun! You're Neremaze, aren't you? And even better, you're from Ostian. Oh, by the now deceased seven gods. What brings you here? To Enderal, I mean. Indeed, I am. And before you ask, I fled, just as you probably did. Even though the artist inside of me loves the chaos, the family man doesn't. At least not enough that he would risk the life of his family. And well, now here I am. By the face of time, what a dull place this is. The people here, this endless rambling about the path and Malthus. I would have never thought the Order could actually succeed in keeping the truth about the Lightborn's death from the people so long. But in a place like this, that problem pretty much solves itself, it seems. The people here are so obstinate. I was surprised to find out they do not still pray to a Satyron. The forbidden book? Don't hold it against me, but I'd rather keep quiet about that. Maybe ask that librarian, Marius. He always struck me as the free-spoken type. Oh yes, that I am. Painter of the black powder, the fiery moments, one could say. In Nerem I could make a living from that. But in this country, my art is not exactly acknowledged. Oh, my fair lady, if I were to tell you this, what reason would you have for my services? Secret of the trade. Oh, my fair lady, certainly. Just take your time. Safe travel. Fair lady. Certainly. Just take your time. Safe travels. Fair lady.
Yes?
An obulus, my dame, please, the Lord. Oh, thank you. You truly are a good person.
Oh well.
Whence he came, his house lies on the edge. Ba-da-da-da-da. If you batter at his door, say farewell to our world. For everyone who entered never walked back on the road.
The spears at the ready, driving the swords into the bodies.
May your path
What?
If you have to ask that, you'd better be on your way, my fair lady. Midnight. What the? I beg your pardon? But, by the righteous path, this is incredible. I've never heard anything like this before. Tell me, my lady, where did you learn this? Who taught you poetry? Blazes, you're self-taught. Malthus truly did bless you with talent. Tell me, may I interpret your poem? It's just I have to. Well then, I hope this is not too much of a leap. But does your first line, the one with the dancing elder between fire and ice, deal with the socio-sexual isolation of old people in feudal societies? I may be wrong, but that was the first thought that came to my head. No, not at all. I was particularly moved by how you used onomatopoeia in line 4 and 6. Do these brutal noises at the end of each verse symbolize the hedonistic, violent way of life among the common people who have absolutely no regard for the lonely man? Phew. Well, that's a tough one. To me, it sounds like the inner voice of a murderer. Yes, exactly. He celebrates his bloodthirsty way of life. In the fangs of violence, my heart laughs. And then, suddenly, justice ends him, which is once again conveyed through those guttural noises. And I have to say, how you use the uneven number of verses as a metaphor for the discord that results from such a lifestyle is nothing short of brilliant. If that's what you meant by it, of course. You did, didn't you? Well, you know what? They wouldn't. The common people, they don't even understand when I tell them I'm a poet. Poet, they ask? What kind of profession is that? So now I simply tell them I'm an innkeep. That is something they are able to grasp with their limited intellect. Easy answers. That's what people long for. But you know what? I would rather die hungry than become one of those soulless pot-boiler artists who make a fortune off their stupid stories. Like, Jonas Schmid does. Do you know him? Mundane rubbish. That's all he writes, but you'll find it on every bookshelf. It's a disgrace. Pure and simple. What? What kind of question is that? How can something that so many people like not be rubbish? Of course! Not everyone has been blessed with an artist's intellect, you know. There are two kinds of writers. Small minds who give the common people fodder that helps them feel smart, and true artists who want more from life. Those who create, with no greed for gold and fame, bound solely by the calling of the muse. Of course I am. I wish it weren't true, but it is. Midnight.
Between cobblestone and excretion. Midnight. Between cobblestone and excretion.
May his light guide you.
Walk blessed.
Advance the fleet! Always forward! Always forward!
Huh. An arcanist, aren't you? Well, I hope your name is on the register. The last thing Enderal needs right now are more wild mages on the loose.
An outlander. What are you doing in this part of the city? Shouldn't you be, I don't know, somewhere else?
Who are you?
Huh. You're not from... Right.
miracle that must have been, due to its sheer glory, brought forth by Malphus himself.
Blazes. Sorry. I know. I can't sing.
Yes, you have heard right. The lost...
In al bed, sorry.
You're from up there, aren't you? Can hardly remember what it looks like.
In al bed, sorry. In al bed, sorry.
A foreigner, huh? What a surprise.
You're from the surface, aren't you? They say that Taylor Aranthil came back. Let's hope he knows who rules this place as well as the Truchessa did. You're from the surface, aren't you?
What do you want?
They say that Taylor Aranthil came back. Let's hope he knows who rules this place.
Look at that! A sunchild graces me with its presence. What can I do for... Oh, from everywhere and nowhere. Whoever sets foot in my store was never here, and whoever buys from me has never existed. Do you hear me, sunchild? Oh, all things lost and found again. Depends on what you're looking for.